Am I the asshole for pressing charges against my girlfriend's friend for stealing my doll? I, 26M, have been with my still girlfriend, 26F, for almost 4 years. Last year I gave her a key to my house. She spends a few days there, but we don't live together full time. A few days ago, I had to make a quick trip for work. She asked me if she could invite a few of her friends to the house for a girls' night. It was on Thursday. I accepted. I returned yesterday in the morning. The first thing I noticed was that the rag doll missing from the wall. My first instinct was to call my girlfriend to ask if she had put it somewhere else. She denied it and said the doll was there, it wasn't. I checked the GPS of the doll. Yes, it has a GPS. The GPS marked the house of one of her friends, let's call her Jess. I tried to be nice and told my girlfriend to tell her friend to bring it back before 5 p.m. and I'll pretend this never happened or I'll involve the police. She tried to fight it but I told her about the GPS. Well, my girlfriend called me back saying that Jess denied having the doll. We had a huge argument and warned her that I wasn't playing about getting the police involved. I waited until 5 and went to the police. We went to her house and got the doll back. I pressed charges. My girlfriend and I had a bigger argument about me pressing charges. They, including her, known the doll was made by my father. They could have stolen anything else and I wouldn't bat an eye. I gave her friend a chance and she tried to play stupid. They have been calling me an asshole and to drop the charges. Edit. I will answer some your question here, if you have more IWLL try to answer them. The doll is with me. It's a rag doll, better said, it's a Raggedy Ann doll. My father had many hobbies, he tried making dolls and was planning to sell them, but the first one he made was a freaking Raggedy Ann doll. So it didn't last, he was too manly to sell Raggedy Ann dolls, ridiculous, I know. He gave me that one. And actually, he made 4 more for my best friends. The doll was hanging in my room, but once he passed away, I hung it in the living room. It has X's as eyes and looks creepy because it looks dead. It has a GPS because my home was robbed 7 months ago. I don't care if they clean the house as far they leave the doll. I've more expensive items she could have stolen so I don't know why she would steal the bloody doll other than a sick joke. My girlfriend never complained about it, at least no to me. I haven't talked to her other than telling me to drop the charges. I will talk to her tomorrow to find out why she let her friend take the doll. They've been here before and never did anything like this. And about our relationship, because right now, I'm thinking in breaking up. Not the asshole but your girlfriend is for being upset with you rather than the friend who literally stole from you. Don't drop those charges, dude. Stand your ground and maybe rethink if you want to be with a girl who is okay with sentimental items made by your father being stolen from you. Oh, and change your locks but don't give her a new key. Not the asshole. Jess could have saved herself from the hassle of police involvement by not stealing or by just fessing up and returning the doll once caught. Your girlfriend could have saved Jess from the hassle of police involvement by telling Jess to cut the crap once she knew the doll had a tracker in it and was unequivocally being stored at Jess' place. You gave them every option to do the right thing, it's not your fault they chose poorly. Also, change your locks. Your girlfriend is obviously not trustworthy enough to have unmonitored access. Not the asshole. The thief had her chance and blew it. What do you think would have happened if you went over there by yourself? You would have had the cops called on you. And BTW, why on earth would she steal the doll? Because men shouldn't have dolls even for sentimental reasons bullshit? Frankly, it sounds like your girlfriend was in on it too. I'd reassess this relationship if I were you. Not the asshole. She literally stole from you and lied about it. Not the asshole plays stupid games win police charges. I'm glad you got your doll back. Time for a new girlfriend I feel. Heart. Not the asshole. Don't drop the charges. Drop the girlfriend. She's shown you who she is, believe her. Am I the asshole for refusing to pay for my stepson's private school tuition? My kids don't go to private school. My stepson does, we just got married. His mom covers half the tuition fees, his dad, my husband, is expected to cover the other half. I actually didn't know he went to private school until now. Our half of the fee is about $16,000. My husband says continuity is important and we should just continue to pay for it to make sure he doesn't feel any disturbance. I think it's unfair and wrong for one child in the family to go to private school and have $16,000 of the family's budget spent on that when the other two don't. And we can't afford to send all 3 to private school. Spending this much only on one child's education would be favoritism, and I wouldn't folly my children for feeling neglected if that were to happen. So I suggested that his son can just go to the same public school as my kids go to. My husband thinks it's unfair to ask his son to change schools at this age, and that he's used to his current school, so it would be difficult to move to the public school. My stepson is 15 years old. My children are 14 and 11. My husband insists that we should just continue things as they were to minimize the effect on children, and insisting his son to change school is wrong. So am I the asshole here? Edit. As this has came up a few times, we have combined finances and similar incomes. So this cost would be split between us, as it would need to be paid from the family budget. I don't understand how you married someone without knowing basics like what school their kids goes to. Do you just meet this man and his kid last week? This makes no sense. Sounds like something you would have spoken about before getting married. Not the asshole, but also very messy because you now have joint finances. Again, you should have spoken about this before you were married. Everyone sucks here for your lack of communication before merging families. I think your only option at this point is to split the finances. It's not fair to make your stepson change schools, and it's not fair for you to pay for his schooling and not your bio kids. Either of those options will lead to major resentment. The best thing at this point is to split finances and continue the kids in their current schools. Info. How in the world did you not know where your future stepchild went to school before you got married? How did you and your husband not have an in-depth conversation about your finances, yearly expenses, and budgets before you were married? How did you two not talk about expectations in regard to the equality of treatment toward your children before you got married? These are all huge things that you absolutely should have known before walking down the aisle. You're both Oz for not talking about it. I mean, seriously, the not knowing where his kid goes to school is really tripping me up. Everyone sucks here. Time to separate finances. This is something that should have been discussed before you got married. Your stepson should not have his education disrupted by you and your children, and your husband should not make you responsible for paying for it. You need to figure out how things are split going forward. Who's funding cars, extracurriculars, and college funds? Again, things that should have been decided before you tied the knot. Where is the father of your children in all of this? You are the asshole. This was agreed upon when they divorced, and it's your husband's duty to his child. It's crappy that he never told you about it before you got married, but it is what it is, so suck it up. Your kids may be your priority, but his child is his. If you don't like that, then get out before you do any emotional damage to this child. So close to his final years and exams too. Unbelievable. Am I the asshole for not wanting to share my food when we eat out? It's not a sharing problem as it is an organization problem. Hear me out. My boyfriend, 26M, and I, 26F, went to have some coffee last Sunday. He suggested having a coffee with his dad. I had some free time, so I said yes. Turns out that it wasn't just my boyfriend, his parent and I, his bro, 23M, and new girlfriend, 28F, were there as well. No problem to me, it was the first time his bro introduced his girlfriend to us, and in general I get really nervous around people and going out in social events of all kinds. I'm socially awkward. My BF, he's a social butterfly. Anyways, my understanding of the situation was the following. Each person pays for their own. So, we sat down and proceed to order. My boyfriend suggested we order the tea for 4 inches and his dad order something on the side. So I take my time ordering exactly what I wanted to eat. I'm vegetarian, so I was careful about it. Everybody orders something different. I thought each was going to eat what they order. However, when the food arrived, tiny bites, lots of things but tiny, my boyfriend proceeded to cut everything in even smaller portions so everybody could eat everything. I was confused. I asked for a cheesecake and some only cheese sandwiches, the rest had ham meat and so on. My boyfriend offered me the tiny piece of cheesecake and proceeded to eat a small part of it. I was nearly losing it. I can't take it. I got really anxious and say, "Dude, don't mess around. Don't be annoying." His family gasped as if I said something serious, and he said, "Oh yes, me. Doesn't like to share," in front of everyone. I was really nervous and pissed off. My mood instantly changed. Nonetheless, I tried to stay calm and engage in the conversations. I dropped the subject since it was not the moment to talk about it. I told him a couple of days later that I thought what he did was kinda off. He said that I was being petty and unable to share. In his family everybody eats everything, it's good up for grabs. I insisted that saying that in front of all of them was not okay. And not wanting to share everything when I clearly don't eat meat or dislike other things they order is no a crime. I am a very anxious person. I like to know how everything is going to be, and I expected to eat what I order and instead I had to eat half of what I wanted. And his final argument was, my dad paid for everything. It's like this in this family, and they won't even accept my money or anything. I know it's a stupid thing, but am I the asshole? Not the asshole. Dietary restrictions change food distribution logistics. Not the asshole. He should have given you a heads up and also ordered more vegetarian dishes so that there was enough to share without you going hungry. Is he always so inconsiderate? Not the asshole. Just cause that's how they eat as a family doesn't mean it's appropriate when with other people, especially with dietary restrictions. Not the asshole. His family may be okay with sharing food, but he knows you don't share food. Your boyfriend should never have put his hands on your food. Early in our relationship, my husband would ask for some of my meal as soon as it was set in front of me. Like, I would order a meal I wanted, the server would bring it out, and DH would say, "That looks good. Can I have some?" Or sometimes, he would reach out his fork as if he was going to take some off my plate. It took a few times of telling him, but he eventually learned that he shouldn't ask for a bite of my food until after I had had some and it has started to cool. And if he reached out to take food off my plate, he was going to end up getting poked with my fork. You don't mess with other people's food. Wait, so your boyfriend knows you're vegetarian. It sounds like you've met his parents before, so I'm assuming they also knew you are vegetarian. Then everyone proceeds to order meat dishes, and splits the one vegetarian order into 6? So you got 1/6 of a meal while the rest of them ate their fill? Who does that? If you're going to eat family style at a restaurant, A. Warn people ahead of time, and B. Ensure everyone will have enough to eat. Not the asshole. And if he can't stand up for you, and doesn't appreciate you standing up for yourself, it's time to move on. Find someone willing to be your champion when you can't do that for yourself. Not someone who will take advantage of the situation and then blame you for your hurt feelings. Not the asshole. It was cruel to make you starve while everyone ate their fill. Am I the asshole for demanding my husband to pay for a replacement for my camera that he threw out of the boat? IF32 was on a vacation with my husband and his family for 5 days to another state. Truth be told, I'm not too fond of his family as a whole due to their intrusive, pushy nature, but decided to go since he insisted. I brought my video camera with me to capture some moments with him and our 4-year-old daughter. His family and his mom started complaining about not being included in the videos I recorded, but I already told them I wanted this to be a project for our small family, me, him, our daughter. He told me that this isn't right and that his family, his mom especially, feel kind of disrespected by me continually excluding them from all of my videos. He suggested I take a video or 2 of them just to keep the peace. Well, I told him that this costs me money, but still said okay and took 2 videos, 8 minutes long, of his mom, sister, her kids and husband and the others. That was still not enough apparently, as his mom wanted to be present in every video I take with my daughter. I was getting frustrated, honestly. We got on a boat for a short tour and his mom saw me recording my daughter and demanded I record her, but I politely declined. She threw a fit and told my husband, who gave me a horrible stare, then demanded that I include his mom in the entire video, but I refused. He suddenly took the camera out of my hand and threw it into the sea. I verbally gasped and then looked at him, and he sat back down nonchalantly, telling me I only got myself to blame for this. I was boiling inside. I looked over and I swear I saw his mom smirking. I had an argument with him, telling him in front of his family that I'm expecting and then demanding him to replace this expensive camera of mine, and the tour was cut short. His family said that I, once again, ruined their trip after I packed my stuff and said I wanted to go home with my daughter. His mom remained calm while his dad defended him, saying that his son was pushed by me, and acted out of frustration, and that it was unrealistic of me to expect him to pay that much on something as unimportant as a camera. We went home and the fight continued. Now we're not speaking, but he keeps saying that I should have included his mom in the video and that I was no saint in this situation and shouldn't blame victim, much less demand anything from him. But I just wanted to make some memories with my daughter. Was I wrong to demand him pay for a replacement? Get rid of him. I mean, the smirk is what took me over the fucking edge. Get rid of him. Not the asshole, not the asshole, not the asshole. I mean, I know it's easier said than done, but get rid of him. This will be how it goes for the rest of your life. Not the asshole. This behavior on your husband's part is actually concerning. If he throws an expensive camera out of frustration over something as small as his mom not being included in a video, what's to stop him from escalating to a dangerous level over something that actually matters big time? Not the asshole. But also your husband is gaslighting you. I've heard men use the same excuse for hitting their wives. I hit you because you behaved badly. If this is a repetitive pattern, then you're in a really toxic relationship and should consider leaving. You have a husband problem. He doesn't back you up. He takes his family's side. He throws your belongings away when he's upset. You guys need serious couples counseling. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. I would say he owes you a replacement camera and you owe yourself a replacement husband. First off, you're not the asshole. Secondly, get out of there now. Who knows what this man could and would do in regards to his anger. Demanding for reimbursement is not wrong, and the fact that he's making it out to be that he blames you? No. Absolutely not. I'd suggest getting him into some anger management classes, or getting the hell out of there ASAP.